Market Watch has a piece out this morning on Americans being financially responsible, which is kind of shocking to me, and I kind of doubt that it's true for that reason. But here is the evidence that they put together that Americans are increasing their savings rate, or at least saying that they want to. New data came out that the personal savings rate, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, increased in April to 4.9% from 4.1%, according to a report released on Friday. I'm going to go ahead and discount that. April, everybody was getting their tax refunds. Throw it out. Not useful. Among the nearly 60% of Americans who recently revised their savings goal, so 60% of Americans apparently have revised their savings goal, the top change was increasing their emergency savings 45%, according to a Santander Bank survey that was done in the end of March. Compared with the start of the year, 40% of people said they became more concerned about emergency savings. So more people are saying they are concerned about emergency savings. I guess the one piece of evidence that I will actually say seems useful is from the Conference Board, and they found that American households do typically increase their savings in March and April after receiving their tax refunds. That's from Bank of America. But this year, median deposits were up 17% on an inflation-adjusted basis compared with the same levels in 2019. So there's the only evidence that I find reasonable is, hey, look, we do acknowledge that people usually save a little bit more in March and April, but this time it was a lot more than it was back in 2019, and so they're seeing that bump. If this actually happened, I think it could be a really good thing, because every time there's any sort of economic disruption, a whole bunch of people start defaulting on their credit cards and other sources of debt that they have to repay. And some of those emergency funds could be useful. I don't see enough compelling evidence that it's any sort of real structural change to the state of the economy and where people are going with savings. Go ahead.
There is an uptrend. So savings goes up during bad economic periods. Yep. Researchers call it precautionary savings.
Sure. And you think that the economy is about to, the bed, you don't book your
when the range
trip.
when uncertainty sorry, I'm doing this like you can see the chart I'm thinking of in my head. But when uncertainty, sorry, bad habit. So that's why I'm doing this pincer move for the three people watching on YouTube.
It's 3,000, Mark. Everyone's watching.
Well, I talk in multiples of 100. Or 1,000, excuse me. Idiot. All the radio is just like, this guy's dope. So when the range of outcomes increases, you save more. The word for that is the term for that is precautionary savings, which is kind of interesting. But I would have thought that savings might go, just intuitively, you think, well, maybe savings go up as people start to make more money and they put more away. No. Personal savings rate, which is disposable personal income less outlays, actually goes down reliably in expansions and goes up during difficult economic times, which is why this caught my eye. It bottomed out at about 3.5, maybe a little lower than that in the last year. Now we're at 4.9. You're right. Some of that might be tax refunds allowing people to save more of their DPI. I
mean, I don't doubt that in April people were pretty worried about the state of the economy and saved a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. But there is a little bit of an uptrend even if you take out the surge in April.
I do want to highlight something that I found a little bit laughably funny from the survey by Santander. Only 35% of survey takers agreed that high-yield savings accounts, i.e. insured by the FDIC, are less risky than investment accounts. Let me say that again. 1/3 of the people they asked when they said, hey, do you perceive a FDIC-insured savings account as being safer than an investment account? 2/3 said, nah, not really.
I think you have to, some of that can be
or said, I'm unsure.
It sounds stupid, but maybe they need to define FDIC and better phrase the question.
It could have just been a phrasing question. And I will say that I personally keep a large degree of my emergency savings in an investment account, but I also feel educated enough on investment decisions to know what type of stuff to put in that investment account to feel that I'm still saving in an emergency fund rather than risking my money.